live stream it
Okay.
and just wait for the thing to do it. Then you let everybody know they're live. So there's no misstatements. Once it's at this point, no, I'll be over there. I'll be next to Tammy. Now you can close this. Nope, you can close that and go back to Zoom.
Still got equipment running. Hope this is
Go
important.
back up. Just click got it, just letting you know it's being live streamed.
Okay.
And then since we're waiting, stop video.
To say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the minutes show that all the governing body is present. We do have a quorum. TAD funding. Can I have a motion to direct Wind River Visitors Council to send the TAD funding directly to the town of Shoshoni? The town of Shoshoni will decide the distribution of such funding.
I'll make the motion.
Been moved by Councilwoman Hartke. May I have a second?
A second.
Been seconded by Councilman Weaver. Is there any discussion amongst the council?
I want to know why we're here, because I went back to the Zoom. And on our Zoom of our last council meeting where this was discussed, at 51 minutes, 29 seconds, Councilman Hartke made the motion to table this item. The governing body did, or the mayor, you did not call for a second. Discussion continued because there's no second discussion. We're continued. At 54:18, you called for the vote. And you voted to have the council be in charge of TAD money. After that, Councilman Weaver went and made a motion to table this. And I, at that time, said we could not do that because we're in the middle of a vote. We had a vote, and the finished vote was 1-4. So my question is, why are we here?
The mayor can call a special meeting with 8 hours notice, which I have done.
That is correct. And my
That
answer
is why we're here. We're here to discuss.
and my answer is this: it's been asked, it has been answered.
Well, that's what we're doing right now.
No, it's already been done. We already did this.
No, we're doing this right now.
No,
Yeah, yes, we are. Is there any other discussion?
Well, I've the same thing. I don't understand why we're voting on this again.
that's the issue. Why are we voting on it the second time? It's been asked, it has been answered. Is there some new information that came out that we don't know of?
Well, when that vote came on, I'm not sure how it was put down during the vote. I did not vote. And if you watch the recording, you'll see I didn't say a word.
Okay, there have been 1 to 3 with 1 abstain.
The reason I didn't vote is I wanted to have more train of thought on it.
Okay,
So I guess so is it fair to say, did we or did we not already vote on this? I guess that, I would say I voted on it.
I voted on
You
it.
voted on it. You voted on it. But she voted on it and he didn't vote on it. So
There's nothing to prevent us from voting on this issue.
we already did.
There's nothing to prevent us, I'm not gonna repeat myself again, from voting on this issue at this time. The council members have done due diligence, researched the subject, and have decided they want to vote on this issue, and that's what we're doing right now.
But you're avoiding the question, have we already voted on this?
But there's been new things that came up.
So that's what he just asked.
I asked that.
There is a new thing that I heard that just came up with, you cannot get the TADS money unless you join the chamber. When did the chamber, that's not their money, that's the city's money. So why do you have to join the chamber to even apply for that money?
I think so.
I can't answer.
I can't answer that either. So this is not an argument for my own. So I just want that to be clear. I'm not here to argue at all. But I feel like I don't have an answer for your question. Maybe you do, or maybe one of them does. If we can direct however this discuss, if there's new information, let's discuss new information and proceed
Yeah,
accordingly.
because I asked if there's new information and I haven't heard any yet.
Well, I have that.
So can you have,
Can some of the audience answer
No.
the question?
No,
okay, so the audience can't participate. So will you say again what you had learned?
That I've been told that you have to join the chamber to be able to apply for the TADS money over here.
So how do we verify if that's
Hey.
true or not?
Sorry.
it was reported that a entity was told they had to belong to the Chamber of Commerce to receive TAD funding, which to my knowledge may or may not be against any of the Wind River Visitors Council rules, but I don't know of another chamber that requires that. But that is disturbing to some of the council members and myself, that would be a requirement, because this again is Shoshoni funding. Would one person from the Chamber of Commerce like to address that issue?
So you asked to table it too, right, Bob?
I did not ask to table it.
I thought you also asked the table.
If I did, I did not see it doing that from between.
My
51 and
understanding,
29.
we tabled it, we were tabling it. So that's,
Well, even if-
Leah Delay from the chamber, and answer to Tammy's comment is, I didn't hear about this rumor until yesterday, and this is news to me as being part of the chamber. Never have I, in my dealings on the board, have I known the chamber to do that. So I'm going to say that is not true. Anybody can apply for the TADS funding. It just so happens that most of the TAD funding does go to people that are members. Now,
Has it gone to non-members before?
I can't answer that because I haven't been on the board long enough and you're only wanting one person to speak. So I cannot answer that without going back and doing a research.
I have a question. With this being up tonight, how does that put the Shoshone Chamber in danger?
It puts us into danger because you guys are taking away part of what we do as a chamber for this community. That is part of our services to this community, to nonprofit organizations and businesses. So yes, that is part of I believe as the president, we are being attacked. Nothing has been founded that we have inappropriately funded anybody or denied anybody inappropriately. We have been trying to be fair to everyone that has applied. Every time something comes up, no one in the chamber has been asked questions. It is immediately brought before this council to a vote
Well, I
to
went
take our money away.
to some of the council or to some of the chamber meetings years back and I didn't feel comfortable there, to tell you the truth.
I have the minutes from our 2000 February 24th, 2000 meeting when a lot of this drama started. I have a list of people that came on to the chamber at this time under the guidance of Joel Highsmith.
I went under it just because I thought it would be a good idea being a councilman.
Mhm. And I've
Um,
also asked you to please come back, have I not?
No, you have.
Yeah.
I don't deny that a bit. I just, like
Mhm.
I said, I got a bad taste in my mouth from it and. I
And
didn't
we're
even-
trying to move on, but every time we try to move on, something comes up. And immediately in the last few months, we are with no proof whatsoever that we are awarding the TAD funds inappropriately. There is much more going on here than what's being presented. This
Well-
is a personal vendetta by someone.
See, and I kind of disagree on that because if it was being done with both of us together, the whole town's going to see it. So they're going to
Okay.
say, okay, you guys are picking on them and you're not giving them any money.
Mhm.
So I mean, it makes it to where we're transparent for the whole community to see what actually is going on with the chamber.
All of our stuff is out there.
Out there, but I'm talking,
Mhm.
we used to be out there too, but we used to get a bunch of beef on how it wasn't getting
Uh-huh.
out there to the people.
Yeah.
And so we've done everything we can to where people can
Mhm.
watch it at home, they can watch it out of town, and they see what's going on. So if they don't
All of
like
our
it-
records are open to anybody to look at.
and ours was too back then.
Mhm.
Um,
And like, we are a very small group. We are a volunteer group. And does Shoshone need a chamber? No, Shoshone does not need a chamber. As the town council, you have the right to vote to have the TAD funds brought directly to you. We're not questioning that. We're not arguing that you cannot do that. My argument at the council meeting was when it was presented that we could work together, we could vet the applications, bring our recommendations, but the ultimate decision would be the council. My comment was, why should we as a chamber be involved in vetting and bringing the recommendation when they would not accept our recommendations?
The TAD funding isn't about wrongdoing by the chamber. It's about oversight of where it goes and the town having a legitimate say and oversight. That's all. If working together, the town could be able to match the TAD funding with economical development money for certain projects and proposal to create additional opportunities and provide greater assistance. We would like the chamber's input and recommendations in this endeavor. The governing body just needs the ability for oversight. This is an opportunity for us to work together and beneficial for all. And it doesn't have to be divisive unless proposal determination is made for it to be.
Well, we have always reported to the Wind River Visitors Council. And over the 30 years, there's not been a problem until recently. Now, if you guys want to take total control and oversight it, by all means, go right ahead. If that's one more thing you want to have your hands involved in and be in charge of, go right ahead.
I just think if we were involved, it holds all of us accountable for,
I look
spending.
at this, and so do many of our members, as coming from the town of Shoshone, that we are incompetent. And this is a vote letting our members know that we are not doing what we, that we're not doing things appropriately. This is a confidence vote.
I
And
look
if you
at it more
disagree
as,
with me, that's fine, and I'm not going to argue
no,
any further.
I haven't raised my voice.
No, I'm just saying, if this is an argument, I'm not gonna argue over it any different. You know, I know where Joel has stood for many months. I am surprised
This had
that,
nothing to do with Joel. This was.
Yes,
me that
it
brought
does.
up. I brought this up. I told you that.
Tammy, that's
Over the
fine, you
rabbit
have,
hunt thing that
Yeah.
I told you, and you can go back and look. I'm
Yes.
the one that brought it up.
but his
not
is the
Joel.
only vote that's on the record stating yes.
I told
twice.
you why I didn't vote. I just.
Twice, he is on the record as stating yes. The first time he brought it to the council. This time Tammy Harkey has.
If, little oversight, if you would have brought the question to fund an event that was leaving the town of Shoshone, went to Riverton, I believe, and asked us, would we support that? If you'd have brought that to this council, I do believe the majority of the governing body would not have supported that. You had no oversight on that decision that did not help Shoshone, and
We actually
what
took it, we took it to the Wind River Visitors Council
okay, well,
before.
excuse me.
Before, that
Excuse-
is our accountability, Joel.
No, see, that is the problem.
The problem
The
is,
problem
Joel,
that is
you
the
want your
town is-
hand
excuse me,
involved in
excuse me,
everything.
I'll let you talk, let me speak. The problem is, that is the town of Shoshone's funding, which the governing bodies have allowed the Chamber of Commerce to manage those funds for the betterment
Mm-hmm.
of Shoshone. When you did that, I believe some of the council members and myself were pretty taken back by that. And that is why we are here today.
But we explained all
but
that,
your
and we thought
oversight-
we had it solved, Mr.
Your
Highsmith.
oversight should be the town of Shoshone. Are you doing what's best for the town of Shoshone? Not if you're following the wide guidelines that the Wind River Visitors Council gives, because ultimately the town of Shoshone, we're responsible for that. And like, if you would have came, we'd have probably not supported that vote and would have denied that. So that's why we're sitting here today. And I've really already talked about everything else, my opinion on this and everything else. I sure do not. I got many friends in the Chamber of Commerce that's brought me a letter signed by yourself and Carla Whittar,
Mhm.
and it's pretty disturbing, the
We
attack
need
it
to
makes
let-
on me. So
The
that's-
email that was sent out to all of our members, is
Yes.
that the one you're speaking of?
Yes. And that was
So this is ultimately
direct attack on the.
A
mayor of
vendetta against us for letting our members know what the town governing body is wanting to do.
Well, this was a direct attack on me, but anyway, that's.
And who
but-
is the
but that-
leadership?
but
Who
that
is the
just shows
leadership?
The leadership's.
Who is the
opinion.
ultimate leadership of this council?
That shows what the leadership of the Chamber of Commerce thinks of myself as the town mayor. It's a direct attack on me. And that is, I'm guessing, is why when we offered, we would like to keep you involved with this process, you immediately deny.
I said, I don't see any need for us to be involved. And that's one more involvement, one more hand in a big government that this town has been coming to.
Is there any other discussion?
Okay, let's say you never had the TAD money and the governing body was offering it to you. Would you have the same outlook on this?
I don't think that a governing body that regulates, is in charge of regulating businesses, should regulate the chamber. And that's what I'm going to say.
Okay, so you're
We
not
are
going to
not-
say yes or no whether you would accept it or not.
No, I won't. I won't, because I have to bring it before the board to vote. Do we need the money? No, we don't need the money. We can continue doing what we do as a chamber if we choose to. It just takes away one more thing that we do. And I'd like to point out that it is only by the graciousness of Fremont County that Shoshoni gets any TAD funds at all. Shoshoni and Hudson are the only two communities that receive this graciously by the others. So if we want to go by lodging tax and really get down to the nitty gritty of this, Shoshoni may get $400. They may get nothing. So we are arguing over what we do and don't do as a chamber for somebody. And I have asked 3 of the council people to become part of the members of the chamber. And not one of you have showed. One of them just has always said that they're too busy, and I understand that. Too busy raising a family, I understand that. Too busy going back and forth working to
Is there
Riverton.
any other discussion that would be important to the
I have a
council?
question.
Prove the evidence here.
I have
Mhm.
a question. In your bylaws, is there anything about discrimination of any form, type, race, sex, alphabet people, whatever? Because you said sometimes you gave money to chamber members and sometimes to non-chamber members.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything in your bylaws that's correct?
This is what we go by from the Wind River Visitors Council. And until recently, we didn't know that the council had wanted changes. And if they would have talked with us or sent us a letter or an email, knowing the history of the animosity between a certain member of the chamber and the council, things could have been done differently instead of always bringing it here in public to be brought out of vote to punish the chamber.
I think with how that letter was wrote, I have to say it was definitely a personal attack. And it's not, you're saying he has an agenda against you guys. I think,
We have an agenda to protect our members.
yeah, but I mean, some of this wording. Joel Highsmith, mayor again with 18 votes. That has
Mhm.
nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's just an attack. He wants control of the recipients of the money.
Mhm.
He's only one vote.
Yes, he is, but he has made it clear in some of the comments that he has made. He wants to be like Hudson. I mean, not like Hudson, but he wants to be like Du Bois. And when I sat down and had a talk with him on Monday, I told him, I said, we have Owen Sweeney from Lander, who's the director, that would be more than happy to sit down with both groups and educate the Shoshoni Chamber of Commerce and the town council. And when I did that on Monday, now there's a special meeting, which I had 4 hours of notice about this meeting. And the call went to a non-board member to pass on to board members about this so-called meeting tonight. 4 hours, Bo, is a little short. If there was a problem with the letter, why not address it in email form or some other form besides having it come tonight for a vote on who gets the TAD funding? Good leadership would reach out and discuss the issues, and we could have come to some kind of a term and written a rebuttal and apologized if that's what it was. But no, the leadership of this governing body brought it before to a special meeting to have the TAD funds removed from our, all we're doing is passing it on.
Were you trying to go around us and get the money distributed from them directly?
From who? The money comes directly from the Wind Rivers Visitors Council now. It does not come to the town council. It comes straight to the Shoshoni Chamber of Commerce. And there is a check waiting, which I reminded Joel about, that there is a check waiting to be sent on to us. So I know how important this hurry up meeting must have been to get that TAD funding from coming when we've already received applications from several organizations. We had our special meeting last night and we are looking at awarding $6,650 to individual nonprofits and businesses. And now bang, this. So then all of our application work are going through the applications. We will have to now contact those individuals and say, you will have to go to the town of Shoshoni.
And what businesses were you giving that to?
We had one, we have the Shoshoni Senior Center. We also have Boyson Lake Marina. They put in 4 applications. None of the other businesses in Shoshoni have put anything out. As like we discussed, how many businesses do we have in Shoshoni?
How many businesses did you help outside of Shoshone?
When we help outside of Shoshone, we do that through our membership funds. We never have used our TAD funds, except for with the 5-Shot Rabbit Hunt, which I thought we had resolved that.
How was that resolved? If you don't mind me asking.
How was it resolved?
Yeah.
We told you that we were hoping that they would come back to this area next year. What you do not know is we had been in contact with Helen and there was workings going on trying to get funding from other organizations so that we were not giving them the funding. But no one asked us about that. And then when the vote come to have the TAD fund stop because of the ladies 5-Shot Rabbit Hunt, and the vote was no, and they never put in an application. And even if they did put in an application, we had already made that decision over a year ago that if they did not come back and have the event here, they would not receive the funding.
Because I'm betting if they would have came even up to the council and said, hey, we're doing a 5-Shot Rabbit Hunt in Shoshone,
Mhm.
I bet you we would have found a way to help them
Yes,
But as
in
I,
Shoshone.
yeah,
it should show.
so would we have. I will tell you that when we have talked and investigated this money is not strictly for Shoshone. It is for Fremont County is what we were told.
I would like to correct you. I'm on the board.
This
of the
comes
Wind River
from
Visitors
Helen
Council.
herself.
The funding, and
Call
we
her.
just had a recent discussion, the funding is for the local communities
Mhm.
to do with that money as they see, for the local communities to do with that money to help their community as they see.
Mhm.
It's for the local communities to make that decision. The governing body the people who vote us in are from Shoshone. Our roots are, we are for Shoshone. We are Shoshone. The Chamber of Commerce has a much wider, you have a much wider girth. It's the area of Shoshone, which at one time included Casper, Thermopolis, Riverton, maybe Land, I don't know, but that area would be accepted and considered an area. And you have a responsibility, I've been told, to the members of the Shoshone Area Chamber of Commerce, as we have a responsibility to the citizens of Shoshone, the governing body does. So our number one care would be the citizens of Shoshone, businesses in Shoshone. That's our number one care, where you have an obligation to all of your members. And that may be where some of the disconnect is. And the Wind River Visitors Council provides basic rules that we need to follow, but you have no oversight from the citizens of Shoshone but we do. And we're
which
very
you
open in our
are
meetings. and we're
self-appointed to
very
that
open-
board,
We're
Joel.
very open in our meetings.
Yeah.
We're very
Mhm.
open in our meetings. We're assumed everybody can watch what we do and we can move forward.
Mhm. I just think it's really interesting that you appointed yourself to that board. And every year that this has been, our reports have been given, not once did you question those reports at those meetings. Now, when it all goes back to the 5-shot rabbit hunt, all goes back to that, which you told me that you had moved on from that, and you were bringing that up as the main reason for having the funding taken away. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Do what you will.
I still need you.
Mike,
It's my turn. Do you report direct to Wind River Visitors Council?
yes, we do. And it's been like that for many years. And if the town council wanted to be reported to, then they could have contacted us. Otherwise, it was always the Wyoming Visitor Council representative from this government that was the go-between, the
So
two groups,
are you
not Shingle.
facing any violations from them? It appears to me they're your boss.
No.
So I feel like that's an important detail. They're in compliance with the organization that's funding them. As I'm looking at their bylaws, I could ask you the same questions. Is one of the things it says in there, the goal is to increase visitor spending by encouraging visitors to stay longer in
Fremont County.
Fremont County, not Shoshone, not Hudson, not in Fremont County. It says you're supposed to use the funds for events, for signage, for attractions, points of interest. You do that. I know you've got a sign down the way. You've got events that happen in town. So have you been, at the very end of this, it says funds may not be spent on alcohol or lobbying efforts. Allocations of funds not meeting these requirements will require reimbursement. Have you been asked to reimburse any funding?
No. And like, what is the town saying now anymore? We're the gateway.
So on our behalf, so whatever the rumors may or may not have been, I feel like if the representatives from Wind River Visitor Council were here, they should be the ones saying they're at fault, they're doing something wrong. But if they're not doing anything wrong, I have a hard time overstepping the Wind River Visitors Council.
No, this is the funding that belongs to the town of Shoshone, and I believe there's some of us believe they errantly funded a event that was leaving the town of Shoshone. And that's why we're here.
But based on this, they're not doing anything wrong. So I bring that because that was the initial new information. It was saying that they're doing things inappropriate with the funding. So I feel like this is the response that we're getting to it.
Would you feel that, obviously, maybe you do not feel funding the rabbit hunt that left town for the event in Riverton, you don't feel they did anything wrong? You're welcome to that opinion.
So I would not know enough about that event to share an opinion either way. For me, this discussion objectively is saying, does the does the this governing body need to be in charge of one more set of funding, take away one more thing from volunteers from the community? My premise is if they're not doing anything wrong, then how do I say we should take over if they're not doing anything wrong? And by wrong, if I'm going off from the Wind River Visitor Council, if that's who they report to.
It was suggested to them that they work with us on that and they would receive oversight. And we could move on, and then if we have oversight like that would prevent something like funding something that's leaving our town. That oversight, we could, as Tammy suggested, we can look at that and combine some of the economic development funds. Also, we can look at to better help our town of Shoshoni, because we're vested in the town of Shoshoni, and maybe the multiplier of funds, work the two funds together to even better help serve our community, and that was what was suggested.
But I think the oversight's going to go both ways. I can stand up and admit to the world, I am not going to put in 1/10 of the effort for what it is that they do. So to put that to this council is what things are we going to miss as an oversight that they would have caught? I don't know. I just know that for me personally to say, here you go, Mike, you're going to now be in charge of finding activities and go. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like that's our job. I feel like they want to do it. Hallelujah. They like it.
If Mike, would you think that if some of the applicants, an applicant was told they need to belong to the Chamber of Commerce to receive TAD funding, you think that's right?
So I have
Do you think that's right?
um
That they would have to belong to the Shoshoni Area Chamber of Commerce. They had to belong to that Chamber of Commerce to receive TAD funding. Would you think that's proper? To my knowledge, none of the other entities require that. And with my discussion with Helen, that if that is going on, that would definitely not be an approved practice, and that the Wind River Visitors Council would need to discuss that in our next meeting.
so I guess are you saying there is a group that has asked for funding that was told no?
Or is this just hearsay?
It's just a
No,
scenario.
I'm saying there was a group that told they needed to belong
Where's the proof?
to the
Okay.
chamber,
I wanna
belong to
know-
the
I
Chamber of
wanna
Commerce to
know who it
receive
was.
TAD funding.
And the proof.
Well, so that's what I mean. So that's I feel like we're having this conflict of, so in answer to your question, I would think, I don't know what their rules are, but if it's a scenario, but if the scenario is only hearsay, then like I said,
So any of these people that accepted TAP money are all of them on the chamber?
Yes.
They're all on the chamber? That's not
but
what you're saying.
you know,
There's no requirement.
Okay, is there-
No requirement that.
Is there-
anyone that applies.
Is there any other further discussion?
One more thing for me is, one of the big things with me, especially when we first got on the council, when everything was in turmoil and everything else, the big thing was people not getting the message, not knowing what's going on. And so that's what we've done. So if the governing body messes up, not doing or doing something with the chamber, they get held accountable. If they're messing up, doing something that they shouldn't be doing and we're against it, they're going to be held accountable. So I guess my big thing is it gets it out to the people, not just to the members, even though it's open if they want to do the research. As well as I do, everybody just likes to
sure.
and watch it and everything else. That's, to me, that's a big thing. And I also do think with personal attacks, she's also nailing Joel. I mean, I'm looking at it right here. We hope your opinion will let the town council know they must continue to refuse to agree with Joel's plan. I'm not on any of Joel's plan when it comes to this.
Well, I haven't read the email. I don't I don't know anything
I
about.
can give you this one.
either.
You want to see a copy of it?
So I mean, my big thing is I think the town has been so much happier with the transparency of being able to see things anytime they want, not just that night, 3 weeks from now, or 2 months from now. It's like, you did say this, look right here. This is
Sure,
where you
exactly
said
what,
it.
I agree. So suppose we made arrangements that they could utilize this setting and put it out on the, because it took us time to come from the dark ages. And maybe that's where, so I think, can we take the perspective of what would it take for the council to say, we appreciate what you guys do, and let's find a way to make it work, instead of, we don't like what you do and we're gonna take it.
I suggested that they contribute and help us with this. I believe with the town oversight, I believe we'll be far more inclusive instead of exclusive. We're not going to be, we will not put any weight on any decisions if they're a chamber member or not. We would be what's best for Shoshoni, because the town of Shoshoni is, and it should be, our greatest importance. This should be to help Shoshoni. And I believe that's what this funding is for. And being on the Wind River Visitors Council for the last 2.5 years and involved with them even prior to that, that's what I've noticed or been made aware of. And the money for Du Bois is for Du Bois. The money for Riverton is for Riverton. The money for Shoshoni is for Shoshoni. The money for Hudson. And while I was on there, I was able to campaign and get it was asked, could we use the extra funding from 6,000 to 8,000? And no, yes, we'll try to do good things with it. But I think we can, the takeaway from here, Mike, that we can be more open to bring in other people with other ideas and to help fund Shoshoni events and help things that help Shoshoni progress. And that's what we need to do. Letters that came out like this from the Chamber of Commerce president and secretary that personally attacked me, that has false statements in it, and really was pretty disturbing, not only me, but to others. And I have many friends that's on the list this was distributed to. That's how I found out about it. And but anyway, the main reason here, what brought us here, I think to try to everybody do a better job. Is there any other more discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. Call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I,
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passed 3-2. Thank you. Kind of a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I'll second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Harkey, second by Councilman Weaver, that we adjourn. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion. Meeting closed at what time, Kim?
6:43.
6:43. Thank you for everybody that showed up.